The Edo State governor mentioned recently that the Nigerian government had to print 60 billion naira worth of banknotes to share across states. This he was saying while registering his concern about the financial state of the country. Many would have known already, while it will interest others to know that these banknotes were probably not printed anywhere within the shores of Nigeria. Nigeria as a country sometimes imports its own money, even though it has its own indigenous printing and minting company, which is the Nigeria Security Printing and Minting Company Limited PLC, NSPM. This company was privatized in 2002 by the then president Olusegun Obasanjo, but still majority owned by the government of Nigeria. Many would wonder, why does Nigeria have to import its own money? Why can't we just manufacture it all ourselves within our own territories? Why do we have to print overseas? What then is the essence of NSPM? What is so hard in printing banknotes? Stay glued to find out. First, Nigeria is not the only country that imports its own money. In fact, most countries of the world, in addition to their indigenous minting company, also import their own national banknotes. For most, it's a common practice to print some of their currency abroad, while others like Liberia don't even have their own minting press. So they rely 100% on printing abroad and importing afterwards. The only countries of the world believed to exclusively print their own money are the United States of America, India, China, Great Britain, Germany, Canada, Australia, and Sweden. Now, who are those that help countries print money abroad? A number of technologically advanced and highly specialized companies make cash for most of the world's currencies. The largest banknote producers are mostly in Europe and North America. De La Rue, a British minting company, is the largest banknote manufacturing company worldwide. It produces cash for about 140 central banks, and weekly it produces enough banknotes that would reach the peak of Mount Everest twice if stacked up. But even with this, it is not left without competition. Basic and Devrient, a German company in the minting business, also produces banknotes for about 100 central banks worldwide, while the Canadian banknote company, the US, and also the Sweden-based Crane are also not left out in the minting business. Many governments, however, don't like to talk about it. The business is as secretive as it is big. Part reason being, many people are sensitive about where their currencies are printed. Now, why don't countries just print it 100% themselves? Basically, it is an expensive and difficult process. In order to take advantage of the cost efficiency of mass production, special paper, security features, and quality control, most countries use independent third-party printers. The companies involved in printing notes have been in existence for hundreds of years. They have specialist technology and have over time developed credibility on security. De La Rue, for example, began producing banknotes as far back as 1860. Sometimes it can make a lot of sense to outsource production. It may not be worth purchasing expensive presses if they only need a small amount of notes. It would also require keeping up with fast-moving technological advances to prevent counterfeits, which would as well require constant monitoring need. Other things to put into consideration are the cost of setup, such as buying and maintaining the machines, cost of production from buying of materials to the actual production process. Also, we have the staff welfare and others. The cost involved in the inshore production may be way too much compared to overseas printing. So sometimes indigenous printing and minting companies are not set up for mass production so as to reduce the running cost. A clear example can be likened to a business enterprise. Imagine you are producing a product yourself at the cost of 10 naira and selling for 15 naira, while another company is producing the same product at 5 naira and selling at 10 naira. As a business-minded individual, would you rather stick with your production or meet the other company and arrange a deal where you can get the same product from them at the cost of 8 naira or less and sell at 15 naira or less? This is also applicable to crude oil refining. The problem with your high cost of production may not necessarily be because you are not getting it right, but maybe because the other company is long in the game and hence have better production machine or equipment, have better production team, or they have links through which they get raw materials at lesser prices. They may also have easy accessibility to production materials or simply because they produce in larger quantity. Money is not printed every time. So imagine we have no reason to print money for 2, 3, 4 or 5 years. The machines will have to undergo constant maintenance, staff will have to get paid while it's producing nothing. In short, it will keep gulping money for nothing. Then it wouldn't really be worth it financially. Ultimately, there's the issue of trust and security, especially in countries with high level of corruption. Do you trust your own people to print your own money without any form of fraud, overprinting, mismanagement, non-accountability, or non-transparency? A practical example can be seen in Libya, when money printed and imported overseas got missing as it stepped right into the country. Now, is it risky to outsource money printing? There was a rumor in India about a government-controlled Chinese company claiming to have won a contract to produce India's currency. It created an uproar in India as many were concerned, particularly based on national security issues, especially as the country is currently engaged in a border dispute with China. The government of India, however, came out to refute the claim and bury the possibility of it ever happening. But one would wonder why the Chinese company would claim that in the first place. Not my business anyway. During the 2011 Libya unrest, the UK government withheld about 1.86 billion Libyan dinar, which was about 929 million pounds, which caused a banknote shortage in Colonel Muammar Gaddafi's last moments in power. So even though it is rare, in some instances, a foreign government could withhold cash produced within their own territory. Also, a country may be undermined in outsourcing if the manufacturer produced more than what was asked for without seeking permission from the central bank, thereby oversupplying an economy with cash, which could have an undesired effect on the country's economy, such as inflation. An additional risk is that of a foreign power knowing the security features of a particular banknote, making it possible to produce fraudulent notes at will. There is, however, no evidence or pointer to suggest that either of these examples is currently in practice. However, the majority of countries print their own banknotes and a small amount are printed with commercial industries. Demand for banknotes around the world continues to grow, with Asia and Africa being the fastest growing regions for banknote printing. Thank you for listening. See you next time.